Okay, so we'll get started with the React.js into questions. So basically, what is the React.js and what is the advantages of using React?
Okay. React is I can say it is JavaScript library. Instead of calling it as a framework, we can call it as a React library. And it is developed by Facebook, and now they made it as a open source. So the community is handling now. So, and if you come into the advantages, it is lightweight and it is efficient and it is simple and fast and flexible framework which is available in market, and it has several advantages. Performance wise, because if you compare with other frameworks like Angular, they are using shadow DOM, but React here they are using the virtual DOM, and it has huge SEO friendly. It will be useful if you have a SEO friendly application. This is the go-to place. This is the go-to framework which I can recommend. And we can use the reusable components in this. And obviously, it has a huge, community which can support if you stuck somewhere. That's also, I can consider that's also one of the advantage of the React.
Okay, can you name one or two downsides of React.js?
If you ask me like that, like I can feel sometimes it is combined with HTML and JSX, right? Now we can write in the TypeScript as well. We call it as a the extension is .tsx and .jsx. It is a combination of HTML and JavaScript. So if the component is keep on growing, it will be messy and it will be hard to understand it will take time to understand the things if you put lots of stuff in the in one component, because it is combined with the HTML and JavaScript. I can say that is one of the major drawback which I can feel. And the second one is like it is not fully it's, as I mentioned before, it's not a full framework. It is kind of library, so it's not a pure framework. That's also that's also I can think one of the disadvantage of React.
Okay, so the differences of functional and class components.
Functional and class components. The functional components. Previously, the class components we will write the component name extend with React dot component, like that. And in functional component, we are directly writing with the the function name. By using the function name, we can write, and in class based components we have constructor to set the props and all, and we have life cycle methods also. But uh, in functional based components, instead of using the constructor, you can use what is that, the functional component function as a method which can accept the props whatever it is from the parent, and it is reduced the number of what is life cycle methods as well. In the functional components, I can say barely we have two or three, which is use effect kind of things in React.
Okay,
Yes.
so can you just help me or explain what is virtual DOM, or firstly what is DOM and what is virtual DOM and how these are linked? Can you just help me on these?
Okay. As I mentioned before, React works on the virtual DOM. That's why in performance way it is very good. The React is very good. Coming to the what is virtual DOM, virtual DOM is, I mean, there is a DOM. DOM means a document object model. That is a kind of tree. Whatever the page we are looking at the screen, that is we can call it as, I mean, whatever the web page you can call. If you open type or tab in the group Google Chrome, and if you type something, some data will come, the line of items, whatever the set you have. Let's say mm, uh, what is today's weather, there are multiple line items will come, that will forms through the DOM only. That is the document object model. Whatever you're seeing in the page, that is the paint of the, we can call it as a Google paint, that they are calling it as a DOM. So whatever the changes happened, if you apply those changes on, if you pump those changes to the DOM, then only it will be visible in the browser. Otherwise, it won't visible. So what we call it as, I mean, then what they did, instead of applying the DOM, if you directly apply in the DOM, the problem is, I mean, the page will refresh. I mean, we can't observe, but the page will refresh for sure, each and every keystroke. So that's why the Facebook guys came up with the virtual DOM concept. That is, they're maintaining the copy of original DOM, and in that copy, whatever the changes happening through the React, first they will check in the, I mean, if the virtual DOM also, they will have a two DOMs. One is the copy of original DOM, and one is the which is communicating through the React. So wow, the differences between these two virtual DOMs will pass to the original DOM. So original DOM will render the page. That's what the I mean, core behavior of React in terms of virtual DOMs. Hello.
Okay. So,
Yes.
so can you just help me with the or explain the React state and props?
Okay, I mean, like, if you ask me, the props means something. If you want to pass some data from one component to another component, which are linked. One component to other component means which are linked. What I mean is, like, let's say you have a component A. Inside that component you have component B. Inside that component you have in component C. If you want pass some data from A to C, you can use props to pass the data. Means, I mean, let's say I want to pass the name key from A to C. You can pass that value by using the props. State means, I mean, let's say I took the component C. Inside that, whatever the changes happened, whatever the values I am taking, whatever I am declaring in that particular component, those things will call it as a state. And if you pass something from some other component, that is called as a props. If you something declare in your own component, if something bounded to particular component, we'll call it as a state.
Okay.
Yes.
So can you help me the or explain what is property drilling?
Props drilling, that's what you are trying to ask, like props drilling.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. The props drilling is majorly, like, I mean, as I mentioned, component A, inside that we have another component, that is component B, and inside component B we have another component, that is component C. If I want to pass some data to the, like that, we have let's say till Z, we have a, I mean, nested components. If you have nested components, I can put it in this way, if you to make understand everyone, like parent, child, grandchild, grandchild, like that. If you have 10 nested components, if you want to pass from parent, yeah, 1 to 10th component 1 to 10th component, so it is very deep. I mean, it should be passed through all the components. That is what we call it as a prop drilling, because we are drilling the properties through all the components till the end. That is what we call it as a props drilling. With that, we have some issues. I mean, like the major effect is, let's say you are using component 10, still you are passing through 9 components. So if something change happened in that particular variable, all the remaining 9 components also will re-render, which is not part of current view, but those also will re-render. That is the one of the biggest drawback of prop drilling. So that's why they come up with the, I mean, use context API. Context API, I can say React came up with the context API. So instead of, if you have more than 3 levels of drilling, I mean, they're recommending, I'm also recommending to use the context API instead of props.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are hooks and why were hooks introduced in React?
Basically, hooks came in the, I mean, the functional components only. In the class components, we don't have hooks kind of concept. Before hooks came into the functional components, we call it as a stateless components. Actually, the functional components are stateless components till before of hooks. After hooks came, I mean, the components became like a class-based components. I mean, whatever the class-based components are serving, the same things are serving by the functional components also with the help of hooks. So, I mean, we have multiple kind of hooks like predefined hooks also there. Those are like use state, use effect, use callback. I mean, use memo. Use memo is one of the major thing which I used at least. I mean, if you're interested, I will explain more that in down. Yeah, those are pre-built React hooks, and we can create our own custom hook as well based on our needs.
Okay, so
Yes.
okay. Can you help me on the use effect hook? So for what is the purpose of it and what are the scenarios we use the use effect hook?
Okay. Majorly where I used use effect is to achieve the reactiveness of reactiveness of the properties. Means, let's say if I change something in the component, that means in the HTML template, that should be passed through the, based on that whatever I'm typing, some decisions I need to take behind the scenes in the JavaScript. There I will use the, let's say I'm putting the, I will put as an example, one search box is there. If I type something, that should be passed to the JavaScript, and it should be based on the this dependency, the search results will be pulled. So in that case, I will use effect. So, and the use effect has a one callback function, and it has some array of dependencies. So I will put that whatever I'm search string as a in dependencies array. So if whatever the dependencies are changed, the callback function will be triggered, and this function, this use effect will be replaced by multiple, what is that called, I mean,
Okay,
sorry,
got it.
multiple
Okay,
multiple
yes.
callback life cycle hooks in the class based component, will create, will mount, before mount, all those things will be replaced by the use effect. Sorry, yep, sorry, you were saying something.
So what are re-renders and how can we prevent them?
Okay. Re-renders means, if you, majorly, I felt like the reason re-renders, uh, if in the functional components, if you something changed, the component will re-render, the entire component will re-render for sure. But we didn't observe that one, but the entire component will re-render. So that is one kind of re-render, and other re-renders are the component itself is calling the same component. The recursive way calling of the components, that is another re-rendering that will lead to the uh, out of memory bound exceptions, those things we need to be taken care by using some uh, edge case conditions.
Okay. So, can you explain the life cycle phases or life cycle methods in React?
Okay. We have the top thing. I mean, the major things are, I can say it is a four levels. One is initializing the state, or else, I mean, props and all. And the second one is mounting. And the third one is, I mean, first initializing, then the mounting. In initialize phase, if you speak strictly, the initialization phase, the HTML component won't available. From the mounting phase, only the component will be available. HTML component will be available. The mounting, after that, unmounting. In between these two, we have one more thing, that is updation. Updation means, let's say if you change something, that will be reacted. So those things will happen in the updation stage. Hello.
Okay.
Yeah,
Have you used any NPM dependencies in your React project?
yeah, I mean, I used multiple like React
Okay.
router I used, and React, what is that? Movement
Okay.
JS, multiple things I used.
Good, good. So, okay. So when you try to do NPM, let's say that, your management told, let's take as you said, movement, your
Mm-hmm.
management, there is some vulnerability in movement.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to just take out that NPM dependency.
Okay.
So that's what with Log4j happened, right? The question
Yes.
is, what are the checks you perform before you installing any open source npm package in your project?
Okay, I mean, you mentioned vulnerabilities. Quite frank, I don't have much idea about those things. But what I will check is, I mean, how much dependency whichever the library I'm going to use, how many dependencies it has. I mean, it also that plugin also can use different what is that uh, dependencies, right? I mean, however, we have a package.json. The same way they also have a package.json. They are also using different dependencies. So I will prefer the library which has less dependencies or other things, because I mean once they start other
How you will check the dependency tree? Let's take moment might be using 350 dependencies or 400 dependencies. How you will check the dependencies?
okay, I mean if you go to the what is that GitHub, they will show the dependents. This and how many things it is depending on. Based on that, we can figure it out.
Okay.
Yes, if you go to the
Okay.
Moment.js library, there in the GitHub, they will show how many on how many things this particular library is depends on.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So what is the difference between the you know package JSON and log JSON?
Okay, I mean package.json. I mean package.log.json also is the version of package JSON. Package log JSON also I can say it is a version of package JSON, but the things will change. But the main thing is like I mean if you install npm install something, if you did, it will try to pull the libraries will try to pull the latest versions which are not supported, or else what which are not uh, I mean compatible with your versions. So if you use the package like JSON, you can mention the version of library which you requires in particular in your project. So whatever the versions you are mentioning in the package like log.json, it will give the preference to that and it will pull that version into your application. So I mean you can avoid the issues with that. I mean version mismatch issues.
Okay. So, do you know what is the difference between dev dependencies and dependencies?
Yes, I mean the dev dependencies are majorly which are used for the while developing, which is helping us while in the development phase. Those won't, whenever you are building original production build, those won't include though the dev dependencies won't include in the I mean end build. Those are which are going to be help in the development to improve the fast. I mean to do the power. I mean to improve the fastness of.
Understood. Kind of. Okay. Okay. So there is some, there is some images. Okay, and
Yes.
you want to that image you need to display while you go to your website. Let's say the website is siva.com. When you go to your website, there is huge images you need to load
Yes. Okay.
on the initial load. So definitely, since we are using assets, it will affect the performance, and it will take more time to load the initial screen itself.
Yes.
So this is a problem. Do you have any solution for this?
I mean, the solution, it includes multiple things based on the, let's say, if you talk in the React JS, in normal, I mean, normal JavaScript HTML world, the first solution which I suggest, you can load the images which are, you can load the images lazily, and you need to, that means you need to load the images which are in current port. That means let's say whatever the screen visibility, that many images you can load, and you can reduce the image size by using this. There are lots of CDNs available in market. I'm not getting the name in currently, but there are multiple CDNs which can be reduce the size of image without losing the quality, So you can use the CDNs. By using the CDN, you can reduce the bundles, I mean image size. The major killer in the website, the image size. So by reducing the image size and by reducing the image sharpness, by using the CDNs, you will get the most performance, and you can use the, what is that, lazy loading also to achieve that.
Okay. Okay. So when I am trying to hit an API, okay,
Okay.
what are the API security measures? Let's say that I am talking on API URL. So when you go to your browser network, right, you can see n number of options. What are the options we can enable for an API from uh, uh, front end side? Example, you pass origin, you pass payload, you pass request headers, you will pass tokens. The
Yes.
same way, there is specialized settings for security related. Do you know
Uh,
anything around it?
Sorry, I don't have idea about that.
Okay, okay. Uh, fine, fine. Then, okay.
Okay, I
Uh,
mean, you're talking about the CSRF attacks kind of thing.
yes, yes. Yes.
Okay, I mean,
So, on
you can use the CSRF I think to check that one.
kind of,
Don't have much
yes,
knowledge
yes, yes.
about that, but yeah, we can use that.
Okay, perfect. No worries. Now we'll take some, I will just pass on you some code snippet. You
Okay,
can just write some code around, or you can just, help with some pseudo code. No need to be exact.
okay.
I am just sending you some code.
Uh-huh.
Hope you might have received. So, uh, uh, Yeah, it is a kind of, members. It's a members list. It has ID, name, work experience, and is a permanent employee or kind of contractual employee. So can you
Okay.
just help me? How many employees are permanent? I want to filter from the members list all the permanent employees. Can you just write some pseudo code, or just you can verbally also tell? That's also fine.
Okay. 1 second. I will share my
Okay,
screen if possible so that I can explain in bit better way. Just give me a second.
perfect. Okay.
Okay. Just a second. Let's start. Sorry. Okay. 1 minute, please. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Just tell me, I mean, where can I write so that I will write.
Yes, I could see your screen.
Okay, just 1 second. I will open Google. Okay. JS compiler. Yeah. Okay. Yes, please. Where
Yes,
can I? Okay.
copy that array which I sent over the Zoom chat, and you can just write.
Okay. Okay. I have a members array. Inside that, I mean, it is array of objects kind of thing. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Please go ahead and
Help me with the permanent employees or permanent members.
I mean, you are expecting to show the permanent only. You need to filter the only permanent employees. That's what you are expecting.
Permanent members, correct.
Okay, all permanent. So it's dot. I can filter directly, which is I mean the filter which is available in uh, JavaScript. So I will use filter method in Boolean. We will use after that. Okay. Sorry. Oh, it will return all permanent employees. Yep, these are the permanent employees. And we can, I mean, we can do even more better directly. Let's say if I use this one by using, what is- I can copy directly the is permanent, and I can use the is permanent. Okay. I mean, yeah, we can
Okay,
use like this also. I mean, object destructuring
understood. Like,
directly. Yes.
um,
You
yes,
can
yes,
destructure the
perfectly
object
fine.
directly and you can. Yes.
Perfectly fine. Okay.
Yeah.